Do you think that 9 to 5 is still like a real job?
I figured out that it's really not worth it at the end of the day, because you would go to work, you will suffer, you will come back home late. When you're receiving your salary, it's not that much.
So what you're saying is 9 to 5 isn't still like a real
Yeah,
job.
someone else is your boss.
I'm a millennial. Getting a 9 to 5 gives you it's steady money. There are lots of things that you learn on the job that you can never learn if you're not on the job.
Do you think, like, as somebody who just newly starts this new job and you eventually get paid, who do you think the first salary should be going to?
You should split it because your parents take care of you from babyhood, sending you to school, in the person that you have become.
The first thing that went to my brain is, it's the money. You worked so hard for this money.
What do you think about having AI doctors operate on you?
You're talking about something medical. You need someone who can see beyond things that were programmed into it. The AI, get AI. You're not really going to be seeing things that you're not programmed to see.
The mental health part, your AI doctor would not be able to reach you because it doesn't have a conscience. Yes. What now happens to the real doctor? There's another episode of Just My POV. And as you well know, I'm Pearlcardy holding it down for the Millennials.
And I'm Kelvin holding it down for the Gen Z.
Exactly. With that being said, let's head on straight into the show proper. Now, there are a lot of things that, growing up, you gotta leave home, you have to get a job, you have to be serious, be focused, and start to pay your own bills, which a lot of us don't usually enjoy, and we try to run away from it, but you can't run away from it the older you get. So oftentimes we tend to, even though we have a passion or something, we always kind of find something else that pays our bills, like a job. So I want to ask you, I'm a millennial, and you know that we were very 9 to 5. We like to, once you graduate uni, you go get a job, you do your 9 to 5, collect your salary at the end of the month. But I wanted to ask you, do you think that 9 to 5 is still, till now, is still like a real job, or do you think that is not really a thing? For Gen Z, because I know.
So growing up, I actually thought that it was 9 to 5s are what everybody wants to do. People, our choice of careers then would be I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, all of that. But at the end of the day, I figured out that it's really not worth it at the end of the day, because you would go to work, you will suffer, you will come back home late, and at the end of the day, when you're receiving your salary, it's not that much. I mean, as against people who are doing some other, quick hustles. Okay, so for instance, people who are doing tech, most of the time, they are not really working with a particular time frame, So sometimes they work from home, sometimes they might go to the office, but it's more flexible, right? Even in the entertainment field, it's more flexible. And if we're going to talk about some other, some comma jobs.
No, you don't have to give me all.
I just wanted some other comma jobs.
Leave that.
These jobs are things that you're going to make so much money from. So much money. And you're not working with a particular time, For even entrepreneurs, right? A lot of them even do it online. So you're basically working around the clock, but on your own timing.
Okay. So what you're saying is, a 9 to 5 isn't still like a real job.
Someone else is your boss most of the time.
Okay, so let me help you. I'm a millennial, guys. I need to speak for us. Come on. I mean, a 9 to 5, what that does, I'm not saying that the other little or big jobs or whatever you want to call it, side hustle or your own business, is great. It's absolutely fantastic. That's the end goal anyways. If you have an idea, you should want to open your own business and be an entrepreneur. But I feel that getting a 9 to 5 gives you some steadiness. It's steady money.
It's like a routine.
Regardless, it's not the routine part.
Okay.
Steady money. regardless of your side hustle, regardless of your passion, regardless of whatever, come rain, come shine, your salary is right there. Now, the thing about having all these other jobs is if you
Yeah.
have clients, if you have, the right, it's even one thing to have a client and another thing to have someone who's paying well, because you can
Yeah.
actually get a client and then the money that they're offering
Mm-hmm.
isn't that much, but because you don't have any other form or source of income, you kind of need to just take that. One.
Right.
Secondly, another thing with a 9 to 5 is there are lots of things that you learn on the job that you can never learn
By
if you're not on the
yourself.
job.
Yeah, I feel you. I
Yeah.
understand. Just like going to school.
Exactly. There are some administrative parts of the job that you need to learn in order for you to be able to open your own business and
Yeah.
handle your staff appropriately. So those are the little things. I mean, these are only just two instances, but there's so many other things. How to even like write a letter to go on leave. You need to
Right.
be able to know this so
How
that
to do
even,
these
yeah,
things.
so that when you even have your staff and people are working for you, they can't even lie to you about certain things. Like I know they know how. So for me, I'm a huge advocate of getting a 9 to 5, especially when you just graduate school. It does
Yeah.
not mean you're doing it forever. You're just doing it for your basic knowledge of knowing business, a company, how it works, how to even relate with other people. If you're like you said, a tech
Mm-hmm.
person, and then you're always just on your computer at home, you're probably antisocial, you're probably introverted. You probably get your
Yeah.
money, yeah, but then it's not constant, it's not all the time. Then you don't have social skills. You don't know how to do like interpersonal relations and then get
Right.
a do marketing, get the brand or get the clients and keep them. Those are the things that make a 9 to 5 give you that steadiness and put togetherness that you need as an adult. So, in my own
Yeah,
opinion,
if it's
nine to
for
five.
on the issue of learning all these things, I understand what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, right? You can only get to understand these things if you experience it. But for me, I'm sorry, I'm not working to experience anything.
Okay, that's
That
because
money is very important. The quicker, the faster, the more,
so that
the
you see
better
see
for me,
that's the
you know?
thing, absolutely. and
Yeah.
and the money, the thing about quick money too, that's another
Mm-hmm.
issue. Quick money usually is quick to go. For sure.
Fair.
For sure. Because you didn't put in the years of trying and then figuring out that when this money comes, even when it comes, it can go quickly. So I need to pace it
So that
with my
structure is not
spending.
there. You don't know how
Yeah,
you
you
want to.
don't know how to manage
Yeah.
even your money. So that's why I feel and I believe, and I know that my fellow millennials out there believe that 9 to 5 is the way to go if you want to be great. I feel like Nigeria. I feel like so Nigeria.
Right. That's
Oh my
fair.
god.
Since we're talking about like jobs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was thinking, do you think like as somebody who just newly like starts this new job and
Hmm.
you eventually get paid, who do you think the first salary should be going to? Do you think you should give your parents your first salary?
Do you want me to answer that honestly, or I should pretend?
Just be pretend first.
But I don't.
Pretend first because I have an answer.
I also have an answer. We both know the answer we want to answer.
For real.
Okay, so truth be told,
Yeah.
okay, I think that you can consider splitting it.
Ah,
I think you
chop
can consider.
it.
I know, right? No, but here's
Oh
here's the
my
reason.
god.
Here's the reason I think that you should
Okay.
consider. You might not want to. I think it's a personal thing, to be honest.
It's a personal
Yeah, I
thing.
think that is really a personal thing. But let me just say the reason I think that you should split it. Yeah, you should split it because your parents take care of you from babyhood, from infants all the way, sending you to school. They invested
Yeah.
in you, in the person that you have become. If they didn't even pay for your school fees throughout the years,
You wouldn't
they
come
put
that
you
far.
together. No, it's not even if they didn't even pay, like someone else paid or you're on scholarship.
Yeah.
They actually got you ready every morning for you to go to school and pick up a thing or two that has made you the person that you are, that has now also helped you to be able to get that job. Is a certificate that helps you to
Yeah.
get the job. So it's only a way of being grateful and appreciative and letting them know that now that you've started on this new journey where you're making your own money, you're open to also sharing
Your
with
resources with
them.
them.
I
Yeah.
didn't say
Giving it to them.
Garrett.
Well, for me, I understand what she's saying, and it's almost selfish for a kid to maybe not like give it to their parents or like tell their parents about it or divide it into two. But
Mm,
like asking that question, the first thing that went to my brain is
chop
chop like
I
eat the
agree.
money, enjoy the
I
money,
saw it in your eyes
feel the
when you
money.
said it. Smell it.
You worked so hard for this money. Eat it. Buy clothes. Chop 3 gala. Finally, because like receiving your first salary is like it's
Mhm,
like an award, because majority of people graduate and they are not really so happy about it. But you see
mhm,
that money that enters your hand, you're like, you're finally a man, you're finally that person.
mhm.
So yeah, like you're an adult, you should at least take that money, sit down, think about it, don't even be so quick to talk. Eat it, break it down, eat it well. You can give them a percentage, right? But
But that's why I
use
said
your own
share.
brain, chop that money,
That's why I said
please.
share. The
Yeah.
point the point really, but I know to be honest for a fact that most millennials still have that mindset that your first salary should go to your
To go to
parents,
your
and there's
parents.
nothing wrong with it. That's why I said also when we're talking about it, I'm like it's a personal decision.
Yeah.
But I personally as a human being, my first salary, I even think, yes, I did share it with my parents. Actually, I didn't even give them like, oh, this is how much I'm earning
It's
because,
just now
bro,
it's occurring
I
to me
kind of
that
don't
that's
want
a
them to
thing,
know.
honestly,
I really don't
because
want them to know how much. But what I did was,
money that you hide like this.
hey, I bought a lot of stuff and then
Right.
I took it home. I went home and I'm like, oh, it's been a month since I got the
Oh,
job. Hey, these are the things that I got. And then I gave them like also like envelopes of money because I
that's
have to
really
appreciate it. So
cute.
that's a personal thing. I also don't agree with the idea of you just collect your salary as you just collect and bam, go give
Yeah, you
your
just
mom say,
drop it. Like
for forever and a day, they'll probably be calculating that
expecting you
exact
that exact
amount of money.
amount. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to get yourself in that kind of
I don't
mess.
even think you should tell them what's happening in your account. This is like even family conversation
Yeah.
generally.
That's
You
facts.
shouldn't even tell them what's
Facts.
happening in your account because they will do this mathematics for you. That money where you
Yeah.
know no, say you even spend them. They are going to tell you on this day, on that day.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have so amount of money. How come you
Left.
don't?
Absolutely. They
Forgetting that
will.
you have personal problems.
But the thing about it also is because they would be worried about your management skills because they've had to
True.
manage to take care of you.
Yeah.
So when you start to earn your money, they're very particular about how you're spending your money, considering 30 days of doing whatever hustle that you've been doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down for sharing, Sha.
That's
It would be
fair.
said that you
Share,
people
but
should
chop
eat
your money.
your
Oh.
money.
Like I know share, right?
I beg,
But
wait.
eat money,
Your no, your
satisfy
idea.
you.
See,
You know,
your mindset tells you
is
to
yeah.
chop the money because I know that you've collected
The
your first
first
salary and I did not see any money when you collected your first
chop
salary.
your
So stop
money.
being
Honestly, like eat it.
say
It's sweet.
you didn't give me anything, and I know what I invested in you, and you didn't give me anything.
Chop no, for
Continue.
real. To
It's
think
okay.
like it's not even what you double
It's okay.
think.
It's
Do
all
you
right.
get?
I know where you stand
Enjoy.
now. I'm going to ask a few questions to know how much that money was. So I can calculate
That's
it.
okay.
So I have one more thing that I saw on social media that
Okay.
I've been thinking about, and I'm like, so where exactly are we really headed? Currently, China has opened a hospital, and in the hospital, I even think that by now they probably even have more doctors. So at the time when they opened the hospital, it's like an AI operated type of hospital.
All right.
And then they have like 14 AI doctors already there
Mm.
to work on patients.
How many actual doctors?
14.
14 and
AI,
AI doctors
yes,
14.
at the time that they opened. I'm sure that now maybe like they are 21 or something or more.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's your take on that? Seeing that this is pretty much like your generation. I agree that we're there. There's also Gen Alpha and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is your time, your season.
Yeah.
What do you think about having AI doctors operate on you or treat you and whatnot?
Right. So, my general take on AI is almost so accurate with its findings. Like anything you're
Mm,
looking to search out, assignments, anything, projects, it makes it so easy. Like you don't need to go through all of the processes if you're using like artificial intelligence, right?
mm,
But I feel like when you're talking about something medical, something related to health, you need you need a professional. You need someone who can see beyond just things that were programmed into it, because it doesn't matter how smart artificial intelligence wants to be, it was programmed by a human being. Do you understand? So I feel
mm,
like in a, let's say for instance somebody's going through like C-section,
mm-hmm.
she's trying to give birth, and for whatever reason there are some reasons why they are supposed to probably stop blood from passing her leg or one thing or the other. I feel like the AI, get eye, you're not really going to be seeing things that you're not programmed to see. There are going to be more people that would die unless it's just like basic things that people have already experienced. So there'll be like so many death
Hmm.
records that will make them program more things. I feel like eventually
I
there will be a
don't.
solution
So I
to
don't
everything.
really.
But
So
for
I don't
now, I
really
don't think
agree.
it works. Okay, why?
Okay, so while I still feel like we need real doctors, like human doctors over I don't think that this is the reason I want human doctors over AI. Let me explain. AI is programmed. I agree with you
Mm-hmm.
100%. And they are more about results and tests and figures
Yeah.
and, algorithm, like just data
Stuffs like
ahead
that.
data. So basically they work with whatever data they get.
Yeah.
So even with humans who are ill or like a woman who is
Mm-hmm.
pregnant, there will be data of her. Once they do those tests will give you your results, and then it will tell you
Yeah.
exactly how to treat such a person or a person that's dealing with XYZ ailment or
Right.
symptoms or whatnot. So I'm sure that that part will be taken care of, but the part that wouldn't be taken care of is the emotional part and the mental part,
Yeah.
the part that has to do with your mental health. Now, everything, whether we admit it or not, is connected to your brain. And it's connected to your brain because that's like the brain box where signals are sent to your body, to your hands, to your eyes to enable you recognize what you see as
Yeah.
either a flower or lights
Mm-hmm.
or a microphone.
Yeah.
Those things is translated through your brain, even your movement. So the mental health part, your AI doctor would not be able to reach you because it it doesn't have
It
a
doesn't have
conscience.
emotions.
A
Yeah.
conscience, yes. So the conscience is where a human being comes in to recognizing that, oh, this person's kid has XYZ. Maybe if their kid is what is fighting or battling autism,
Yeah.
you wouldn't crack a joke that could
Sensitive
trigger,
to
yeah,
autistic
somebody who
people.
is
Right.
dealing with autism. So that's where a human doctor comes in.
Comes in.
However, in terms of like data, in terms of like delivery and making sure that there are no mistakes, like we have a lot of medical issues in Nigeria where
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people go to the hospital and then they now do like an operation, but they forgot to give you maybe one medicine or one
Yeah.
injection. That wouldn't happen with
That
AI.
wouldn't happen,
That
truly.
can never happen with
Can
AI.
never,
They are right
truly.
there. They are doing everything to make sure that things are working.
Yeah.
So, aside the emotional and the mental part, that's where I feel like human beings. But then, another issue with that is then what now happens to the real doctors? They now become
Yeah.
redundant, or they now are the ones who are operating the AI
Because
doctors, or
medicine as a
what?
course on its own is such a hectic course. It's like
Yeah.
not everybody is mentally wired enough to go through
Hence the
all
reason
these
AI.
years.
Hence the reason AI. And I understand where they're
For
coming from.
real.
I get where they're coming from with the
Yeah.
idea of it. But then what does that do with the real doctors? And
Like people
another
who
thing,
really put in the work. This thing is not easy. Oh. You need to see medical
yeah.
students.
Another thing that you said is like, oh, that you like how how it's very easy if you put something into like AI or
Yeah.
Meta that it gives you whatever, whatnot, whatever
Whatever
question
result.
that you ask,
Yeah.
you get your result. But Omo, doesn't that tell you now that most of the professionals who are like maybe in your generation who use like AI actually don't know anything about the job?
Yeah, they don't know that much.
They don't actually know
It's made
shit
very
about it.
easy.
The people who actually know are millennials. And now that takes me back to that thing that we've been seeing online where
Yeah.
they say that millennials are the most intellectual but the least paid of all the generations. Because we ended up reading and studying and getting prepared for computer to be able to control the computer. But then now other humans, the powers that be, people who just have the money or that controlling stuff, now want to be the sole controller of things. So then now they're bringing in AI so that the whole control is from them.
Yeah.
So they can put in what they want to put in, remove what they want to remove. And then it's only that idea. But then computer is such a funny thing that it can migrate and integrate and
Yeah.
recreate something
You
so
know what I think?
huge.
I feel like as the world keeps evolving, there are other parts of our brains that
Mm.
we would be able to connect with. I mean,
Like
use
what?
for instance, I don't know what it is, but I
I
feel like
don't
there are
know.
more things we would find out about ourselves. For okay, when you all were growing up, right? You guys had only like normal computers, not even smartphones,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And now we have like smartphones, and it's even evolving that there are even some phones that are transparent.
yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Those are like
There are apps
projectors.
that can actually recommend the right skincare products for you.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many things like this. Like these things keep evolving.
So,
It's crazy. It's
so
crazy, but I think that eventually maybe some one part of our brain will just click one day. We will find out newer
see, the
things.
truth is, I think that the only part of our brain right now that we're even working on or trying
Yeah.
to do anything with is trying to just stay healthy, and that's why there are so many fitness instructors,
I
all
think
those
life is just easier.
dietitian,
I love it.
dietitians and whatnot. But I
Yeah.
don't actually. Because you don't challenge your mental.
Mental.
That's why you find that a lot of Gen Z people would come out and say, "Oh, I have anxiety. Oh, I have depression."
Well,
God
not
forbid,
really
not
in
for me. Oh, God
Nigeria,
forbid.
though.
God
In the
forbid.
Western world,
Just
there are a lot of people who don't even know anything,
so
and they've come
no,
this far.
no anything like how
They know
intellectually or
nothing
what.
intellectually. They are
Oh yeah,
very,
yeah, yeah. No, but that
very
is because
minute minded.
their government provides certain
But in
things for
Nigeria, we still
them.
suffer at least.
Yeah, in Nigeria we see that. No, it's not about the suffering, please. It's not about the suffering.
That's
The
suffering the
point is
open
no,
brain,
it's
no.
about challenging your mind.
All right.
Yeah, but now, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, most of the time you're on your phone.
Yeah.
That's what you're on. Anything that you want to do, you're picking it out from your
Yeah,
phone.
from the phone.
Me, I'm on my phone, but not that much. Half the time, I'm sitting down and juggling my mind, thinking about the
Yeah.
events of the day, what to do, what not to do, what have I left undone. Like those are the things that help you challenge your mind, and then you're a little bit faster in your reactions versus somebody who's on the phone. I find that a lot of Gen Zs are a little slower to move, to act, to do things. They're not as active as millennials or like, and I'm not trying to shade any.
Yeah.
It's just because they are so used to every information is right here. But I'm like, yeah, I have some information that's here, but that information that's here is also put in by somebody like me. So why would I
Yeah.
take here so seriously versus finding out by myself? That's where my mind's at.
Some people they just love to challenge themselves.
And
Like you
some
just
people
need
just
to
don't like.
no, I'm just saying. Some people love to challenge themselves, like, read up
Mm,
on articles and all
yeah.
of these things.
Hmm.
While some people just love the easy way out.
Yeah. Gen
Because I
Zs.
know that there are some things of my interest.
Hmm.
I love to read up on those type of things. But things I'm not interested in carry me knack for ground.
Yeah, same thing with us.
You know?
It's not even really about the reading.
Some people
It's
just don't
just
want to use their brain.
that's
Sha.
just the
And
word.
this
That's
generation makes
just
it so
it.
easy.
Easy. That's it. And it's like the easier way out, but then and there's no problem with going the easier route. I'm
Yeah.
also down for the easier route. I don't want to have to hustle so much to be able to make some kind of money. That's why I'm also on social media. I post so that maybe like
Yeah,
as an
all of
influencer I can
that.
make money, whatnot. I don't want to do that. But then I realize that if I do not try to challenge my mental and do some activities with my own brain, sometimes I might go to sleep. It's like sleep mode with your computer as well.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be in sleep mode
Yeah, you
because
want your
anything
brain
can
to
happen.
work.
If today now something just happens in the world, there's one shift like that, you're going to have to find a way to survive. And it's what you've done with your mental that helps you navigate the entire part of your body.
That's very fair.
Mm,
I agree.
yeah, I also agree too. I love the AI idea. I love having those doctors there. But then what happens to the doctors that use 7 years? Maybe 10
How
years to
many
go to
years?
school.
Because it's honestly more than 7. Like they are continuously in a learning process. Like
Yes.
even on the job, there are so many
They're
more
still
things they
going for
learn because with
courses.
health complications, it's peculiar to who is affected. You
Yep,
know,
absolutely.
so in now wow, I don't think it even makes any.
So are you
It's
down for
okay.
AI
You are
doctors?
promoting. No, if I see where they are doing that thing, I run. I run for my life
Yeah, I'm not sure
because
if I will lie down.
there's no way me I will lie down. You tell me one kind of thing like
And there's one
no,
robot
it's
that will do
not
like, and the
working.
robot can't talk. Oh.
I
The
cannot.
robot can't smile at you.
I
But it
cannot.
can say,
It's paining me. It's paining me. You will continue.
no, the thing can answer you. It can say, calm down, I'm in the process, or I'll be done in two
It's like,
seconds.
would you shut the heck? It will now tell you something like, try to be nice, Kelvin.
Yeah,
That's
it's a bit like, yeah, try to just give me
crazy.
5 minutes and I'll be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be like that. But it's funny
That it
that
gets on my
But it's
nerves,
funny that
please.
you're a Gen Z and you're not
Mhm.
down for AI
No, I'm not down
doctors.
for it because of my health. But if it's like for an assignment, for like probably writing a
Yeah.
script, probably anything so easy,
Yeah.
do it for me. Faster. If you can even help me wash my clothes, do it.
That's
If you can
good. We
help me
have
fold my
washing
clothes,
machine.
do it. No,
Yeah.
because washing machines won't fold those
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
clothes.
But I'm sure that
It
now
wouldn't do those
there
things.
are actually robots who actually fold, who make coffee, who
Yeah, the
clean
world is
up
such a
and whatnot.
beautiful place. I love how we are evolved.
But you don't want AI doctor for
Till
you.
the AI vex for you,
I
wipe you
swear.
better iron slap like this.
Well, I
Your
won't
brain will
even lie.
correct.
Absolutely agree with you. And while it seems as though I may be advocating for AI docs, which I'm not,
Okay.
because I mean, I live in Nigeria and never they take lights away. So if never
Truly.
can take lights, the
What do
thing
you
go
want
first
to
to,
do?
or it just starts speeding, or I
Cardinals,
start to spark, I
Cardinals.
start to spark. What if even Steph? What if let's even like it's trying to cut you, then something
Yeah.
just happens and the hand just I know that
Yeah,
can't
and
really
doctors
happen
don't
with
know how far
computers,
it's
Sha.
gone. For real. See, for real, I don't think
I
it's
wouldn't let an
okay
AI
for
doctor touch me,
anything
Sha.
like that to.
I
If it's
don't
for
think so.
consultation,
Yes.
maybe. Aside
For
consultation,
tests.
I don't think anything
Yes.
surgical, any
Mm.
no. Just administer the drugs and
I
that's
agree.
that.
I'm down for that also. Like for test results, for
Yeah.
consultation, yeah, for me to be able to like my aftercare after the surgery,
Aftercare,
aftercare,
yeah.
whatever, post up hair, my post up everything. Yeah, I'm down for that.
That's fair. But
But like having
like
a robot
the real work,
come and
no.
do no, no,
No,
no,
no, no,
me say
don't
okay,
touch
so that's a
me.
good thing. At least both of
Yeah.
us, both generations in this idea we're like no, 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 we're not ready for that. Oh
Right.
man, it gets crazy, the world, every year, every generation, every decade, every century. But then it's really interesting. I think that most of us that are here on earth,
Mm-hmm.
somehow we forget the reasons we're here, which is where we now start to compete with each other, and then we start to get
Yeah.
jealous of each other, and then we start to fight each other. The idea really isn't about that. It should be about the experience of it and how
Right.
far we're going in this life, because see how far we've come. Who would have thought like 20 years ago that this is our generation? I mean, it's in the Bible that there's revelation and then there's the mark
Yeah.
of the beast and what. I know that that's there, but we're literally
It
leaving
wasn't
parts
even
of it.
narrated to be as spicy
Yeah,
as
and
it
we're
is.
leaving parts of it
You
now.
know?
So maybe if we have a much healthier healthier relationships amongst ourselves, because at the end of the day, if anything happens, it will be humans against robots,
Yeah.
not you and your robots against another human. Clock that. Be more sensitive, be more caring, be more loving, just be more human.
Period.
Until next week, guys, this has been fun talking with,
Kelvin.
yeah, holding it down for the Gen Zs. And I am Pearlcardy. Until next time, guys, catch you later. Mwah.